Hello Virgo, and welcome to my channel, Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements, looking at your connection between you and the person that you are dealing with and are needing to learn the most from right now. We'll be pulling for all three sides of the connection, so we'll look at your energy toward it, their energy toward it, and the energy in between it, the concept being that there are three sides to every story. So we're looking at your version of the truth, their version of the truth, and this higher level unbiased truth in the middle. This middle section will be looking at what is the deeper purpose of the connection and the best way for you to move forward in order to align further with your higher self. Friendly reminder that these are general readings and they are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate fully for everyone. So do please remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and to leave what does not. On that note, and especially if you're a cross-watcher, just know that this whole reading can be reversed. If that is the case for you, that is totally fine and totally normal. Again, the point is to take what helps and leave what doesn't. Last thing is that any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading or coaching session with me is in the description box below. I was trying to avoid that. All right, Virgo, let's jump on in. We're going to start with looking at your side of this connection first with oracle cards, and we'll dive deeper into the story with tarot as we progress. I also want to mention that I have started posting daily mini general readings to my Instagram and TikTok accounts that are not posted onto my YouTube. So if you wish to see that account, the information for those accounts is in the description box below. All right, Virgo side of this connection. Patience. There's also like a cautiousness in your energy when it comes to maybe not just this person or maybe love in general. No, it's this person, because then you have wild card here. I feel like this person's energy is very unpredictable, and it's hard for you to really know like what you're gonna get or what to expect. And I think that that's where like there is this energy of, it's like both patience and cautiousness. It's, trying to observe, see. It's like you're trying to figure out how this person feels, because they feel like their actions and their behavior are all over the place. It's like, I don't really know how they feel about me or what they're thinking or what they want, which I think is making things really complicated for you here. This person's energy toward you, Virgo. This person knows they haven't been dream come true with forgiveness and then confusion here. This person knows that they haven't been treating you the way that you deserve here. I feel like they're very aware of how they've been messing up, or like the things that they've done to hurt you. This dream come true makes me feel like when I saw the card, it was like kind of shocking, because it's almost as if like they have these feelings for you, but the way that they behave and the way that they act like don't align with the feelings that they have. And there's this confusion card, and it's almost like that behavior is really confusing to you, obviously, but it's really confusing to them too. It's like they're confused by their own behavior here, but they're also very aware of it. So I don't know, because this forgiveness card, it's like asking for your forgiveness, or they recognize that they need to ask for your forgiveness, or like they see that they're in this position where they need forgiveness. Truth of this connection between Virgo and this person. Maybe that's the cautiousness that you're in here when it comes to maybe forgiving them or letting them back in or giving them another chance, or continuing with this. I don't know. It's like, I do feel like their feelings and their intentions are genuine. I don't know. There's something there though. Okay, truth of this connection between Virgo and this person. Maybe. Detachment and reciprocity. Okay. You know, it's interesting because in this connection, I don't feel like you're asking for a lot here. I feel like you're asking for reciprocity, for this equal give and take, receiving what it is that you give. And I feel like you're not getting that from this person. And I feel like that's one of the things that, and maybe you get it sometimes, the effort, the consistency, whatever it is, but it's like sometimes you don't. And that's where kind of the erratic behavior, the inconsistent behavior is coming from. This detachment card, I feel like there's a very heavy attachment to the outcome of this connection. And what I mean by that is you see this person, I feel like, in this way that there's so much potential here. And if this connection were to work out, then, you'd live happily ever after and things would be great. And I think that, and it's not that you're doing it from a place of, being delusional or anything like that. Like, I feel like you're very realistic in your approach to this. But I do feel like you're waiting for that time where things kind of shift. And this detachment card is kind of asking you to take a step back a little bit and to look at things from a different perspective, or from like a higher level perspective. Because I do feel that there's kind of this like caution around protecting yourself here, protecting your worth, your peace. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. I feel like it's probably complicated. Usually is. Okay, overall theme of this for Virgo. It's like you're waiting for this moment where things are just like easy, where they stop messing up or they stop doing things to hurt you, and then you guys just move forward and it's good. And that is what you deserve. Overall theme of this for Virgo. Sacrifices must be made. You've sacrificed a lot in this connection. I feel like, and I also feel that there's a part of you, you still miss me with unlocked potentials. There's a part of you that kind of is okay with those sacrifices, because I do feel that there is a really strong connection here and you want the potential. So it's kind of like, well, I'm willing to do what I need to make that work. But I also feel that that's where things aren't mutual. Is like you've done a lot of sacrificing, or like you've put some things to the side to prioritize them or to put effort into this connection. And I think that you know how this person really feels, and it's almost like you're waiting on them for their actions to start matching their feelings in some way. Because you see this unlocked potentials card, like there obviously is a lot of, potential that's coming through in the connection, but I don't know, I feel like it's a little bit more complicated than that. It always is. It always is more complicated than that. But let's see what we've got here. Make sure I can see all three of those cards throughout this reading. Okay. This is Virgo's side of this connection to the person they are dealing with. It's like this person is carrying a lot of guilt. The Fool. I feel like this is what you're desiring. You're desiring this new beginning and this connection, this moment, like I said, where things are good, where there's a clean slate and things can go, can start to build. Because, with the Five of Pentacles, I feel like you are feeling a loss around this connection. I don't necessarily know what happened. I don't know if this person sabotaged and you walked away, or if they walked away, or if like the connection is still together, but there's like a weirdness in between it. Either way, it definitely feels like there's distance. I feel like, you're feeling a sense of loss here. But I also, because again, with this Temperance, and then I said sabotage, there's the Knight of Wands in reverse. So I feel like you are very patient with this person, very understanding, almost like to a fault. It's like you can understand them so well It's like you know them so well and you understand them so well that, like, yeah, it's like you're patient with them to a fault. Not that patience is a bad thing, but I feel like you've been put through a lot waiting for things to eventually be what it is that you want. The Ten of Cups in reverse. So you have certain expectations around this connection. And I feel like because then the Six of Pentacles in reverse, it's almost like, okay, I'll accept less now. Or like you've been willing to accept a lot less out of hopes that things will change. But things haven't changed. And I think that you are getting like increasingly more frustrated with it, which of course anybody would be, right? Because I don't necessarily know what's going on, but I do feel like you're getting kind of the short end of the stick in this connection. It just feels like you're not receiving the level of effort you deserve, the level of commitment that you deserve. And like, you've sacrificed a lot to try to make that work, to try to, get this person to get to that point. What else here? So you have this Seven of Wands. And then the Queen of Cups. You could be dealing with a water sign, but the other thing that I kind of get by this, so water sign would be Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. But the other thing that I see about this is you're sitting in this place of emotional intelligence. And emotional intelligence, there's a lot of different ways that can come through. But just, first of all, being able to understand and honor your own emotions, and then being able to understand and honor other people's. And I think that's what I was trying to get at when I was saying, like, you kind of understand them. Like, I feel like you have a lot of empathy and compassion for them and where they're at. So it's like there's just this like deeply empathetic and understanding energy that I feel like you're sitting in that almost makes it hard for you to set boundaries. And it's not that you're bad at setting boundaries necessarily. I just feel like with this person, it's really difficult for you to. And I think that comes from a couple of different places. I feel like you see that potential and you're really, really wanting it. And there's that kind of attachment to the potential. But then also I feel like you've poured so much of yourself into this. You've spent so much of your time and your energy on trying to make this work that it just, like, you don't want to give up on it now. So I just feel like there's so many layers to why things are the way that they are. And I think that you're definitely right in being a little bit cautious in your approach to this, just because, I don't know. I just feel like there's a need to be careful. I haven't even looked at their energy yet, so I don't know. But let's get one more Virgo side here. The Knight of Wands in reverse. I feel like you kind of wear your heart on your sleeve when it comes to this person. And it's so interesting because I don't know if you're typically like that. I don't know if that's usually how you are, but like with this person, it's like you really wear your heart on your sleeve. And wearing your heart on your sleeve isn't a bad thing, okay? I think that it's important to be open and to be vulnerable. But I also feel, I don't know what I feel. I don't know yet. I don't want to jump to conclusions without looking at their energy, because it just feels like you've been in this position of things have felt very unfair in this connection. This person's energy toward you, forgiveness with dream come true. Person's energy toward you. Seven of Wands. It's interesting that the last card out for you, or not last card out, it was over here, huh? You both had the Seven of Wands. Six of Pentacles in reverse. Six of Cups. Hang on, I gotta try to make sense of this. High Priestess in reverse. Six of Swords in reverse. A lot of sixes. Six of Pentacles, Six of Cups, Six of Swords. Could be seeing 666 everywhere. 666 isn't a bad number. It's all about, sixes are all about receiving divine gifts. Ten of Swords. The Emperor in reverse. Okay. This person kind of gives off this energy of being kind of like a smooth talker. And I don't know why I get that from them, but I just do. I get this just like very, I don't know, like mysterious or like just smooth. Like I feel like this person's smooth. They're a smooth talker. So I feel like they have a tendency to kind of get away with a lot. I feel like they say a lot of the right things, but then they don't necessarily back it up with action. And I think that that's the position that you've been sitting in, right? Is maybe waiting for them to back up their words with action. Now, the thing that is interesting here about this is I do feel as if they have this awareness around knowing that they're not reciprocating what you're giving. With the Six of Pentacles in reverse, like seeing it here. And it's interesting because it's almost like there's something holding them back from doing that, but they're letting it. It's like they're prioritizing other things, or they're not giving this the time and attention that they know that you deserve and that the connection deserves. I feel like they're very disconnected from themselves, though. And that's the thing, right? If people don't honor their own emotional experience, they're not really going to honor the emotional experience of others. And I think that that's where, like, this is kind of this energy of, this is kind of a selfish energy. But selfishness doesn't always mean, oh my gosh, they're a bad person, right? Selfishness often stems from self-protection. And I see that with the Ten of Swords and the Emperor in reverse. I feel like this person carries a lot of wounding, a lot of really deep wounding too. And because of that, they're in this Emperor in reverse energy. It's a very controlling energy. And it doesn't mean that they're trying to have control over you necessarily, but they're trying to control their own experience. So essentially, I think that they kind of sit in this energy of wanting to know that like they have the power, if you will. And it's not that they want to make you feel bad necessarily. I feel like they feel more comfortable whenever people are pouring more into them than they are giving. Now, there's a lot of different reasons why people sit in that energy. The need for validation is one, sure. But then there's also, a fear of vulnerability. And it's almost like it feels good whenever you receive that validation that someone loves you, cares about you, is committed to you. And then it's like, okay, now I feel safe. I feel loved, whatever. But then like if they don't reciprocate, your cup is eventually going to run dry. So this kind of feels like you're pretty classic like giver taker energy, where you're showing up, you're committing, you're investing, you're pouring into them, and they're very much giving bare minimum, where it's like they show up whenever they fear that they are going to lose you, but then they withdraw whenever they know they have you. And I don't, again, it doesn't feel like they're doing it intentionally, but there is like an awareness around it. And that's the thing, is it's like they know that they're not giving you what you deserve, but they're not doing anything about it. And they're letting other things take precedent in their life. And I feel like you've been waiting on them for a really long time, like waiting on them to commit, waiting on them to choose you. I don't know. I feel like this person is very used to this dynamic in relationships. I feel like they might be kind of the typical taker, where they're used to being the person that receives the most in relationships. Relationships that are healthy and sustainable are an equal balance of give and take. And not all relationships are 50-50 all the time. That's not what I'm saying. But should average out to being around 50-50, where like sometimes, you know, you have a lot to give and this person, you know, doesn't, you're able to show up, but then like you should be able to receive that back. And I feel like you've been sacrificing in this connection, waiting for this person to show up, waiting for them to commit, waiting for them to choose you for like a while. And it just feels like they're not, for whatever reason. And, you know, I think that you might have empathy and understanding, oh, they're dealing with a lot, or they have this going on, or whatever. But, and sure, like I just said, there are going to be times where people cannot prioritize you all the time in relationships. But you should always, first of all, be like toward the top of the list. And second of all, that shouldn't be consistent. And I feel like I'm talking to someone who is consistently not being chosen or shown up for. And I think that this person, like I said, kind of going back to like smooth talker, I feel like they're really good at getting your forgiveness. And so it's just this round and round cycle that keeps repeating. I don't think, and I do feel like their intentions are genuine. Like I do feel like, well, I think that they have genuine feelings here. Like they don't want to lose this connection. But I also at the same time feel that like they don't want to have, they don't want to do what it takes to get it. And that's the thing, right? Like when people don't treat us the way that we deserve, we often look at it as how much they value us, right? So we say, oh, you know, this person isn't choosing me or committing to me. That's a reflection of how much they value us. But that's not true. People don't treat you how they value you. People treat you how they value themselves. The way that people treat you is a reflection of how they feel about themselves. And if somebody doesn't value themselves enough to show up for the love that they deserve, they're never going to receive the love that they deserve in a consistent, healthy way. They're always going to push it away. It's always going to eventually come to an end because that kind of connection, that kind of dynamic is not sustainable for the party doing all of the giving. So I just feel like there's a need to be very, like I said, to proceed with caution when it comes to this connection because this person does have a little bit of a growth to do. I feel like they're kind of sitting in a little bit of an immature energy. And it's not that they're like immature across the board, but definitely emotionally immature. And, you know, you deserve somebody who meets you where you're at, or at least who consistently puts in the effort to do so. And I've always said that, like, it's not about finding the perfect person, right? Because nobody's perfect. And nobody's ever going to be perfect, but it's about finding the person who's willing. Willingness in relationships can take you so far. Somebody who's willing to grow, who's willing to learn from mistakes, who's willing to communicate, who's willing to take accountability. You know, it's not the person who shows up perfectly 100% of the time, but it's the person who recognizes the ways that they're not showing up the way that they should, and then they're willing to make changes. That's where the kind of like red flaggy energy is coming, is it's like this person isn't willing to make the changes. It's like they recognize that they're there and there is guilt around it, but it's like there's no change in behavior. And I think that puts you in this really unfair position where you're constantly feeling at a lack in this connection because no matter how much you pour into this, you're constantly kind of getting the short end of the stick. So yeah, I definitely feel like Spirit has a little bit of a warning with you about this because it's also important to remember that the way that this person isn't not showing up for you because you're not enough, okay? You are inherently enough. You're inherently lovable and valuable. And if somebody is, you know, not valuing you the way that you deserve to be valued, it's not a reflection of you, it's a reflection of them, right? Like I use this analogy a lot in readings, but if you hand somebody a handful of diamonds and they take those diamonds and they throw them in the trash, you're not going to question the value of the diamonds. You're going to question why the hell somebody would throw something so valuable away, right? So it's interesting because in relationships, when somebody doesn't value us, we start to look at it as a reflection of our own. But when somebody doesn't value us, it's because they don't, who knows? You know, they don't value themselves. They don't know what they have, you know. And when we stop, you know, allowing our value to become dependent on somebody else, we then are able to take a step back and make sure that we're showing up for ourselves just as much as we're, you know, showing up for another person, if not more, because we have to prioritize ourselves in order to be prioritized. But I'm going to take a look at the extended. We're going to dive deeper. You have detachment with reciprocity. We'll be looking at the deeper purpose and the best way for you to move forward in alignment with your higher self. Information for that is in the description box below. Before I end this video, I just want to remind you of my upcoming Manifesting Financial Freedom workshop that is taking place on September 19th. It is a live workshop at 6 p.m. Central Time. However, if you purchase a ticket and you can't make it live, there will be a recording available the next day with all of the materials. So if you want to be a part of this workshop at all, you still have to purchase a ticket ahead of time. You can either attend live or receive the recording and all of the downloadable material the next day. I'm very excited about this workshop. I used to be a financial advisor before I stepped into my role as a spiritual coach. So this is kind of two worlds colliding for me, getting to bring some practical knowledge as well as some, of the spiritual aspects around finance. So I'm really excited for this, and I obviously hope to see you guys there. And then last reminder that if you want those daily general readings, to make sure that you are following me on TikTok and Instagram, because I will not be posting those here. Okay, thank you guys so much as always for your support of my channel. I do obviously hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And as always, I wish you nothing but love and healing and all of the wonderful things you deserve and desire on your journey moving forward. Bye, everyone.